Welcome into Ravens Rundown, everybody. I am your host, Joey Petersen, and on today's show, we got some new things to talk about with the Justin Tucker allegations. I made a video yesterday as quickly as I could, got it up on the channel, and over the last 16, 17 hours, there's been some new things to have come out about the situation. That's what we're going to be talking about on today's show. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel because I know this is a crazy time. It's been a crazy last 24 hours, but we'll have everything covered on this channel right here as soon as it happens. So to keep up to date with this situation, with everything else Baltimore Ravens, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. So this all happened yesterday, starting with a tweet from Jonas Shaffer, a writer of the Baltimore Banner. He's the one who broke this story and saying, a new Baltimore Banner investigation, Ravens kicker Justin Tucker has been accused of inappropriate sexual behavior by 6 massage therapists. And then the Baltimore Banner also tweeted, Ravens kicker Justin Tucker behavior was so egregious, 2 massage therapists say they ended his sessions early. 2 spas say that they banned him. And obviously Justin Tucker was going to have a response to this. He tweeted out a really, really long statement. So I'm just going to kind of break it up in 5 different things that he says. Starting off with right off the top of it in the first paragraph, he says the allegations in the Baltimore Banner article are unequivocally false. He went on to say, I've never been told that I was not welcome at any spa. Then he said this article takes innocuous interactions. They are no longer recognizable. He ended his third paragraph saying this is desperate tabloid fodder, and he finalized the entire statement by saying these allegations are false and incredibly hurtful. So it's obvious that Justin Tucker and his representation are taking the stance of this is just 100%, as he said in his statement, unequivocally false, right? There was no statement saying my representation is taking a hold of it. We're working with the women, the massage therapists. There was none of that. He just flat out said in his statement over and over and over again that this was untrue. Okay, so his representation is looking at it. The massage therapist representation is looking at it. But obviously the NFL has to step in and they have to look at it as well. And this is coming from Jeff Zrebiec of The Athletic saying that from NFL spokesperson Brian McCarthy, we first became aware of the allegations from the reporter investigating this story as they were not previously shared with the NFL. We take any allegations seriously and will look into the matter. And of course, the NFL is going to look at it. That means a Baltimore Ravens spokesperson is going to look into it and have something to say. Saying, for a Ravens spokesperson, we are aware of the Baltimore Banner story regarding Justin Tucker. We take any allegations of this nature seriously and will continue to monitor the situation. So let's talk a little bit about the NFL's policy on this type of thing, right? Unfortunately, this has been a recurring thing happening in the NFL over the last couple of years, and they've got a strict policy on this. Roger Goodell, he switched things up in around 2014. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but Jonas Shaffer in his article talked about the NFL's policy, saying under league's personal conduct policy, players can be disciplined if they're found to have engaged in a conduct that poses a genuine danger to the safety and well-being of others, or that undermines or puts at risk the integrity of the NFL. He went on to say the NFL prescribes a 6-game unpaid suspension for more serious violations of the policy, including sexual assault involving physical force or committed against someone incapable of giving consent. So what my question is for all of this is, will the NFL act and serve any kind of suspension before they've done a full investigation, right? It said in that first quote that if they believe that he will have put harm on others, harm in the community, that would give them the right to give him a suspension. The interesting thing about all of this, though, is a couple of reports that came out yesterday that says that this has been happening and going on and has been known at some capacity for a really long time. Obviously, these events took place from 2012 to 2016, but Benjamin Albright, he covers the Broncos. He covers the NFL as a whole, but mainly the Denver Broncos, saying Tucker's lawyers can issue every denial they want. The story is true. That's his opinion. And to be honest, the Ravens front office is going to have to answer some pretty serious questions about when exactly they knew, because it's been for a while. Again, that's all his opinion. That's all his statements. But recently, yesterday, there were tweets surfacing about this exact same thing, about these exact allegations from 2021. Young MC saying, Justin Tucker is canceled, but it's not my place to provide the reason. Let's just say he's been told by many massage places to never come back. Adam tweeted, Justin Tucker must not have received his happy ending that he forced the masseuse to give him this week, probably because he's banned from every spa in Baltimore, right? This is so interesting looking back, and obviously, I don't want to say that everything that they're saying is 100% fact, because it's not, but it is interesting to see that this was being tweeted about back in 2021, 3 years ago. So it's curious, and it's a question to say, did the Baltimore Ravens know about this? I think those are the questions that have arisen from the past couple of hours. And this brings me back to the time of Ray Rice, back in 2014. Obviously not the greatest year of Baltimore Ravens football in terms of off-the-field things. And let's just go ahead and break down the timeline of all of Ray's incidents. So it started July 24th. The NFL suspended Rice for 2 games after the first TMZ video came out. Okay, then on August 28th, just about a month later, the NFL, they had a new domestic violence policy, a little bit harsher for offenders of domestic violence within the league. Then September 8th, TMZ releases footage from inside the elevator of actually seeing how it went down. And then later that day, just hours after that footage was released, the Ravens terminated Ray's contract. And John Harbaugh has been known to say that the Baltimore Ravens kind of operate under a zero tolerance policy, right? Any kind of thing that has to do with it, they have zero tolerance. Harbaugh went on to say, I respect what Steve Bisciotti has created here, and Dick Cass, really almost 10 years ago. Basically, we're kind of zero tolerance. That's a quote from a while ago, but John Harbaugh is there saying it, right? This team is zero tolerance. This team has no tolerance for anything of that nature, and they handle it themselves. They don't just necessarily leave the NFL to be the ones to hand out the suspensions. They take matters into their own hands. But it's interesting because within the last year, I don't want to say that hasn't been the case, but it seems like there's almost been at least a little bit of a change of principle, okay? Last year, a year ago, January 2024, the Ravens signed Dalvin Cook to the practice squad and then to the 53-man roster. He was amidst domestic assault. Zay Flowers, right, in January 2024, was investigated for alleged domestic assault as well. And Zay Flowers never got a suspension from it. Dalvin Cook was signed to the roster in the midst of a domestic assault suit. So it makes you question, do the Ravens really have zero tolerance from it? Now, Zay Flowers was proven to be not guilty, right? He was proven to be innocent. But still, if there truly was a zero tolerance policy, you would think maybe they went ahead and gave a suspension. Now, it's a big question because it was January 2024, right about to go into the offseason. That's all a big question mark, but still, it seems like things might have changed. And Sashi Brown, the team president, was asked about the Zay Flowers situation. She said, or went on to say, very hard circumstances, always complicated for us, for the league that investigates it, for law enforcement, and we're not at a point yet where there's been anything regarding Flowers to act on. And if and when we get there, we'll manage, but no change on it, right? So saying there's no change on it. They just hadn't gotten to a point where they believed there was anything to act on. And you wonder how they're going to feel about this current situation, where after almost 24 hours, I guess a little bit more than 24 hours at this point, it does feel like there might be things to act on. And this also brings you back to the whole Deshaun Watson situation. It's a very, very similar situation. Massage therapists, sexual assault allegations. And I want to run through Deshaun Watson's timeline, okay? The first allegations emerged March 16th of 2021. For the entire 2021 season, Deshaun Watson was listed as inactive for every single game. Then March 11th, about 1 year after the first allegations emerged, Watson was cleared by a grand jury. But then just less than a month later, 2 more lawsuits came up, and then more and more and more after that. And then that's when August of 2022, just 2 months later, he was suspended for 11 games. Ultimately made the comeback, had shoulder surgery, and then this last year, we all know what happened with his Achilles. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this entire situation. It's going to be interesting to see if anything comes out of the Baltimore Ravens knowing more about this in the past and just not doing anything about it. There's going to be a lot, I'm sure, that comes out in the next week or so, the next month or so. But as we stand right now, 6 massage therapists accusing Justin Tucker of sexual misconduct. Justin Tucker releasing a statement yesterday that he's saying those allegations are unequivocally false. And at this point, I think we have reason to believe that both the NFL and both the Baltimore Ravens are doing their own investigations for this, trying to get to the bottom of everything. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. That was the new update on Justin Tucker. Appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button because we'll get you new videos every single day.